want you to be a little bit flexible. I don't want to talk about insurance. I want to talk about you. Because 95% of people, they believe they have financial problems. People, they don't have financial problems. They have spending problems. Respenda madi risinaona. You are going to find that we have a situation that most people, they are in a financial state because of the money they have spent, not in a financial state because their money is not enough. If we change your net today to 1,000 pula, you can survive. If we change your net again to 15,000 today, you can survive. Why is it like that? A human brain was projected to adjust to conditions, to adjust to circumstances. For example, you can be able to eat pizza every day, and you can be able to be eating pali chili, tomatali onion every day and still look healthy. So your problem is not a financial problem, it's a spending problem. If you manage to harness that financial spending problem, you are going to realize you can afford to own a savings, you can afford to pay your mortgage in time, you don't have problem with maintenance people, you don't have problems with your landlords, you don't have problems with the bank, you don't have problems with yourself. So I'm just going to talk about a few things so that I won't waste much of your time. I would like also to thank again for the opportunity that we have to do this and we have to talk about money. The only thing that normally when I come here, we talk about me and it's beneficial to my company, but today we are going to talk about men. And it's one of the crucial topics, as Mugulu has tried to express. Men we are left out, our finances are being, speaks a lot about what we have to be. So sometimes the well-being of the man is not talked about much. I was really touched, he realized we are all emotionally broken as men because we were told that a man does not cry. So a lot of times we face a lot of downfalls because we can't speak of our problems. It's very rare to find a man reporting a rape case. But I don't want to lie to you, a lot of men are being physically abused, we are being raped, we are being abused. But we can't speak out because it will make us lose our masculinity. For example, I'm no longer a man because I've openly confessed that I've been abused. So the first thing that I want us to talk about is, let's use the common language. Let's start about our taxes. What is a tax? Because most of you do not realize how tax operates. So every time you take something that comes to deduct from your payslip, you pay tax for it. Because mostly the government and the institutes, they say, we cannot pay tax for you. You are the one using the loan, you are the one who came to our microfinance, you have to pay your own tax. Even when you go to buy groceries in a shop, you are going to realize that the total value of the products that person or that institute or a Pick and Pay or a Choppers is charging, it's a written 300 pula plus 45 pula tax. So mostly taxes is the one thing that most of you haven't come to have a conversation. Because if we are to be honest, all of us here, how many of you has paid to see a financial advisor? To seek I want to talk about my finances. I want to talk about what is happening with my finances. Because 95% of the people you see are insurance people who are trying to get a policy out of you, who are trying to get commission out of you. Guys, don't blame us. We are coming for you. But the most important part is when have you ever sat down with a financial advisor, talk about your financial health. Because a man who is financially sound is not abusive, is not rough, is not late anyway, he's everywhere on time. Everything that we face is controlled by a system called money. Whether it came through electronically, but we are all controlled by the factor of money. So now, You have a situation at your house, you want to build a home for yourself or your kids. You take a loan of 400,000, you go and pay the plot, it's 100,000, then you say, I'm going to start to build. You start to build, then you drop the building around roof level. Then what has happened here? You took the money that you didn't know what you wanted to use it. When we take a loan, we sit down, get a diary, I'm sure it's 25 cooler, write down, I want to buy a plot in Tonota, it's costing 80,000. I want to build a 2 beds, to build is costing 150,000. The builder charged me 100,000. So all of my expenses is 300,000, meaning I have to borrow 350,000 or 400,000. When the money comes into your account, the first thing that you do, you go to the building material suppliers, the hardwares, pay those amounts that you are owing, that you have to pay. The only money that has to be left in your account is the surplus Limada builder. The problem, you get the money, your friend calls you, kuna auction ya police mo, kuna auction ya the Land Cruiser. You buy a Land Cruiser, you have no business in owning a Land Cruiser. You have no business in those things. And you get to your yard right now, when a lady scrape yard, you allow the regular auction. What are you doing with them? Your money, your pay, your salary is your only financial muscle that you have. If you abuse it, you live an abused life. The abuse that we are talking about the community and the abuse that we are talking about Basadi and whatever, that is lesser abuse if you do not know how to harness your finances. So now we come to a very sensitive part now. When you are taking a loan, how do we take a loan? Consultation of a financial advisor, I'm very sure it's around 350 to 700. There's no one who charges about that. All of them that I know. You sit down with them. Then you list down what you want to do. Then you are going to see that the excess values of money that you put on something, you don't need it. Why are women more financially stable? Women, they plan their finances and the battle in our bed. They know I can afford to open a savings account because in a rem get my grocery is okay. But as a man, because the nature of a man is to provide. When a woman tells me they love me, I don't see it like you said. When a woman tells me that they love me, what are you saying? Show me that you respect me. Show me that you are here. And what does it mean to be a man? The rent has not been paid. School fees has not been paid. Bana aba soldier. The aparota Christmas. Stress right no you never tell me. I know. So now the concept is the value of a man is in his ability to provide. You don't provide what you don't have. Meaning to say, we don't take loans for the money we do not know what we want to use them. I've sat down with a lot of people trying to help them with debt consolidation, and you realize to say, after helping a person do his debt consolidation, communicated with the banks, helping get a good loan, he gets in more mess. Why? This person has no financial problem. He has a spending problem. How do we spend? What are you doing to yourself? Allow the money to be familiar with your account. Let your bank statement show for it. Only 24 hours, 3 hours.
Say it again, sir.
Because we are going to find that most of the people that are really looking for prayers, you don't need prayers. You need a financial advisor. And when you go to a financial advisor, be attentive, listen. Notebook. Call me, Rachel Arnefat. Or okay, fine, send me a message. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. How do you spend your money? You get your notification, 3.5 puts any more account. Go home. Rubala Limat. Be in a case of withdrawing 100 kula wallet for 2 weeks. Be familiar with the money. Let money love you. Let money have a relationship with you. Madari na tena mo account apa ela sa tena mo matwa how. You pay 1,000 to the landlord. You do everything within the minute. By the time you get home, learn to list down. We are a family of 5. We need 2 combos to finish a month. We need 4 bribes. List the grocery of a normal family of 6 people is not more than 1.5. Then you ask yourself, why are we using more than 3,000 on groceries? Because how much I want to go home now. You go to the Pick and Pay. List you buy 3 different washing powders. You buy 3 types of glycerins. You buy 3 lotions. What are you doing to yourself? Why are you punishing yourself? So your financial muscle is your salary. The money that gets into your account. So if you have done some mess in your payslip, it's high time you need a financial advice. How do I get back? There was a man who stayed by the river Bethesda. Jesus came to him and said, do you want to be well? He said, no man can push me when the water is stirred. Now I'm coming to you guys. I'm coming to steer the water. Let's talk. Let's talk. Because men, I see it mostly when you sell insurance. You come to someone, you want to try to ask him for an appointment. About an appointment, why are you running away? Information is power. There's one rule that I've learned from a guy called Elon Musk. He said, the more things you do not know is the more you pay. Meaning to say, if you can't repair your shoes, you're going to pay. If you can't sew your own clothes, you're going to pay. If you can't cook your own food, you're going to pay. If you can't drive, you're going to hire a driver. So it means that's more money that you're going to lose. Okay. So on taxation, when you take a loan, every time you take a loan, when you want a top up, get a bigger loan that settles the previous loan so that you have one loan. Because you are taxed as the loan. So if you borrowed 200,000, 100,000, 50,000, 20,000, you are paying taxes for these loans singularly, not as 400,000. So when you take a loan now, you need to understand, I want to do something, let me get a new loan. The advantage is this, you get a recalculation of your financial debt. So if the other loan is ending in February, you will not know because these loans, they are just a basket. And the banks will notify you that the other loan finished after they've taken 4 more installments. So now, you sit down now with a financial advisor saying, no, my basic is 15,000. Why am I paying 2,000 taxes? He sits down and says, no, taxes, they operate like this. The government charges you 10% tax. So the excess of this tax is coming from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how do we fix this? The first thing, some companies, they say, let's open a superannuation, let's open a second pension. This helps reduce the tax. Secondly, we do talk about debt consolidation. And you fix that. So most of the people, when they look at someone with debt, they say like, he doesn't know how to manage money. No. I've been in Botswana for some time. I've taught finance overall. I've sold insurance for many people. I hold people's pay slips for a living. That's what I do. I certify among the police. That's what I do for a living. I've come close contact with people and ask them, what were you using this money that you do? I've never heard a person saying, Nekile vacation goes Zanzibar. Botswana abasinyi mali. But because Botswana banali syndrome, we are spending habits, not financial problems. There are other countries that have financial problems, particularly like my country, Zimbabwe. We have financial problems. We have the ability to use money, but we do not have the money. We do not have spending habits. That's why you find that even if you have your housemate at your house who's a Zimbabwean, you're going to realize that every time whatever they get, they send almost 50% back home. Why? Because they understand the value of what you obtain. So Botswana abana matata amadi, you do not have financial problems. How rapela today in the evening before you go to bed? Understand how not the money lamad. You have a spending problem. This has nothing to do with God. This is everything to do with you. This is when the Bible says, may you be renewed with the renewal of the mind. So if the mind is renewed, we can be able to have sound men who can protect the next generation. I remember a speech that was given by Julius Malema some few years ago. He said, if we can mentor men to be better men, we have no need to protect women. A man who's mentored, nurtured, and trained, he doesn't need to be a villain. But because our boy child, our men, they do not have this kind of setup that you have here. So if a man is trained and taught how to be a man, he does not rape, he does not kill, he does not murder. But because our boys are vulnerable, when you get home, you carry your baby girl in your arms, your son, he follows his mother's gate. Now, we talk about something that I mentioned, that's a debt consolidation. What is debt consolidation? Debt consolidation is putting, okay, let's start here. The first thing when you want to do debt consolidation, have the ability to tell yourself the truth. Most people, you can't tell yourself the truth. You lie to me even your high school qualifications. You lie to me about yourself. Okay, fine. The reason being is we lie to ourselves, and that's the dangerous part. Lie to everyone. It's okay, it's healthy, but don't lie to yourself. Lying to yourself is spending the money that you don't have. And most of men that I've talked to between the age of 32 to 45, they are paying loans that their spouse they don't know. You bought a girlfriend a car, they broke up with you. That's amazing. And the mistake that you do it is you bought the car in her name. You can't claim it because there is no proof that it's yours. You might have a bank statement, you might have a loan that proves that you bought in her car, but legally on the documents, you can never win that case in court. So some of the people are in financial situations not because of their decisions, but the decisions they thought it was love. I know love is blind, but finances does not have to be blind. If you use your heart on money, you suffer the pockets. That's the rule. Money uses one rule: use all of me today and don't have me tomorrow. Open a savings today and have part of me tomorrow. That's the principle. There is a parable in the Bible when a certain boss was leaving, he called his workers, he gave them dinner, he said no, then he went away for some time. When he came back, he called his workers. What happened? Some of them, they'd invested, some of them, they whatever. Then there was a guy who said, I know you. You want to eat where you didn't sow. I planted it down. So it's a principle now that when we save, when we open a savings to save, we are saving not Metropolitan, not Holland, not Botswana Life. You are saving yourself. And when we talk of a savings, we are talking of an automated savings, a savings that takes money from your payslip that you do not have access to. Most of you save through the banks. You have an account with the bank and the savings. Hamada say now it's 1,000 2 days later, you take 200, 150, 50, 20 until it's empty. That's not a savings. That's an inconvenience account that assists you in situations. So you need a savings. At least your savings should be around 10% of your total earnings. A savings is not something that we parade about because it's something that we are hiding. Who are we hiding that money from? Our spending habits. Who is our spending habits? Ourselves, our children, our girlfriends, our churches, our bars, our cars, things we spend money on. Because an average person, you can survive without a car. I know you don't like it because every time Rebecca would go for but that's not life. That's not life. You sit down with your finances as a man and you tell yourself the truth. Because if you don't tell yourself the truth, your finances will tell you the truth. There are other people that now, they want to go, but they can't go because they want to change even profession. Because the time I go, you are owing ABSA 150. You are owing canteen, BP canteen, 200 something thousand. And if whatever decision you want to do, you can't just go. You know, these guys, they will send police for me, even if I was the police officer. And about and your case does not take 30 minutes in court. I not try and see. I already know what you did. This is fraud. Baobulela section. Then I think the another thing that I need to talk about that I've learned ever since I've come to Botswana. This is not an insult. I need you to understand me very well. Botswana rirata pito. You guys love funerals. No, not funerals actually. You love funeral policies. Mutomu one, anali pito yako ZCC yako kerekeng, anali pito ya Mpempe, anali Botswana Life, anali Holland, anali Metro, unali you say unali BTU. What are you doing to yourself? Why are you so invested in burying your relatives? Why do you want them to die? Hauna savings, hauna investment, hauna seek. Marapito unali 5, and it's year 2000. What are you doing to yourself? So, the greater part of being a man is telling you yourself the truth. We are all going to die, no matter what. Some are going to die early, some are going to go late. So if the things that are going to happen to us are going to happen, we don't need to invest in dying, because we are still going to die. We invest in savings that we know that in 3 years, 2 years, Peter, most of the policies that you have are just going to bury you, and your relatives are going to kill each other. Buffets, they will never talk together after funeral because you have invested in your death. And because your brothers and your sisters will be saying we are totally equal, entitled to this money because this is our brother's money. This is my sister's money. When you see the deceased people fighting for assets, they are not being selfish. They even tell because they are related to you equally as your children are related to you. So Baldoela Madi of their brother. They are entitled to that. So how do we do now? You sit with the financial advisor. No, I have these funeral policies. What do I do here? We list them, we check the cover amounts, we close all of them, then Rusiale one. If you trust in Pembe, let Pembe hold your funerals. If you trust Holland, let Holland hold your funerals. If you trust Botswana Life, hold. Now, when evaluating these funeral policies, you don't need a policy that escalates 5% every year. Increase cover. Because one thing that I've come to realize, without a funeral, you'll be buried. With a funeral policy again, you will still be buried. So why pay more for a same cover of dying? Because we are going to die. That is, I can say good things to your face, but I can never lie to you for it. We are going to live forever. And now, on the funerals now, we now come to a place whereby we say, I need one solid funeral policy, or I need two. Maybe I'm not wrong, Leah Holland, or maybe I'm not Leah Yengeng, so that you put yourself at ease without abusing yourself. Then the last aspect that I just want to talk about are called life covers. What is a life cover? Life covers has got almost 5 or 6 types. They come in different forms. There are life covers that you get at the bank, which they might call security or collateral or once-off insurance, whatever they might call it. They are what you call level term. This is a life cover that you have for a certain period. They are what you call whole life covers. These whole life covers, are not sold by many companies, particularly in Botswana. They are being sold by the banks, ABSA, FNB, and Holland also started selling whole life cover. Now, there is also what we call a credit life cover, which depreciates on its own. As you pay it for many years, the premium So now when taking a life cover, what do you consider? Because majority of us are going to retire with loans. Majority of us, we are actually going to die with loans. So what do? You take a simple life cover. Because how does a life cover help you? A life cover now, let's say you are involved in an accident at work. How does your compensation, just policy, work? You are paid 10 times your basic. So if your basic is 15,000, if something happens to you at work, they pay you 150,000. That's the maximum they go. It's not because they hate you or they don't consider your wounds. It's a system that has been in Botswana for more than 40 years. So now when you buy a life cover now, you get disabled. you get injured. That's when now you say, no, okay, the workers assisted me with 150,000, which is 10 salaries or 10 basic salaries. Then what do I do to myself? You go to Holland, you go to your next insurer, they give you the disability cover. Whether you want to attach the life cover or not, you can't survive as an average man without a medical aid and the life cover. Those are the major policies that you must have more than funerals. Why? Because number one, if if you have 5 kids, just know you have 5 months of flu rotating in your house. They share until it comes back to the person who brought it. So you need a medical aid. But on the medical aid now, you need to consider, do I have a critical condition in my children? So you don't need to buy a high EE, just take a standard. If you have a condition of asthmatic, or probably you have a condition that demands, again, people, they don't use the same antiretrovirals. They don't use the same antiviruses. Yes, because I think I have a client who buys certain antivirals that are called Tinolam, what, and they are quite expensive. The government cannot afford to give you those for free. So now, they say maybe it's because of a blood condition. I do not understand the medical part, but I understand the financial part because you are paying for it. Then it becomes my business. Now, when you get in those conditions now, you need the medical aid because you can't afford to be buying antivirus for 300 every month. You can't be taking, that's when the medical aid comes to chip in. Now, you can't equally avoid a life cover. You need a life cover. A life cover helps you to take it to the bank, you recover the security they charged you. You know your life is safe. And outside you for the cash back, we just say outside. That is the most crucial part of a life cover. I think I covered most of the topics because my time is limited. Can you talk to me? Any questions?
Currently, we're talking about we were saying maybe I have 43 individuals again. Yeah, I wanted to highlight you something. We do that because in Botswana.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm the bridegroom.
Yes.
Yes. There's a nuclear family here. My nuclear family.
Yes.
Then I've got extended families. And some of them, they are so down. I can see.
Yes.
But they are related to me.
Mm-hmm.
The first policy will cover my nuclear family. The other policy is me who is the payer again. I'll have to create it for the other extended family. So that when they die, it doesn't become a burden to the government. Yet we are there. Hey, they are related to this guy. Look how he lives. Bona cancel is eating that. How will I go? When I go now, I have lost that dignity I have as a somebody government worker. I need to cover those. That's why we make so. It's not that we make it because we have money or we are careless spenders. No, we make it because of pushing points of life.
Okay. Can I respond to you?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, you raised a very sensitive point, and that is a question that is probably in most people's head. Because when you do not know a situation of a person, it's easy to judge them. Or why did she do this? How would he leave his wife with children? This guy was being beaten every day. He ran for his life. Why is he not supporting? If he sends 500 so there are situations that we do not know, but we quickly judge. To respond to you, say number one, an average funeral policy from Pembe, Holland, Botswana Life, Metropolitan, it covers up to 26 people. How big is your family?
My family, more than that.
Okay, fine. There is something that I need to put to light to you so that you understand. For every policy that you have on your pay slip, you pay 14.5% tax on it. So if you are paying a funeral policy that is costing 100 kula, you are paying an extra 14 kula 50 tax for that policy. You understand? It's only your pension that you don't pay tax for because it's called a pre-tax. So the more policies that are different, let's say you are paying 600, you are paying 400 in Bembe, you are paying 400 at Holland, you are paying 400 at Kakis, that's 1.2. Times 14%, that's almost 200 people you are losing, that is not benefit your life. Because you pay tax for everything that you buy. Because it's not a policy that you acquire. According to the government, you bought it. That is why you pay tax for your loan. The bank gave you the loan, the bank is supposed to pay the tax, but the bank says you must pay that tax because you are the one who used the loan. So the more policies we have is the more taxes we have. That's why I'm saying, even the Bible says, God forgave the years of not knowing. Difficulty.
He overlooked the years.
He understands it. And he said, yeah, so, yes, sir. Yes.
So most of us, we are trying. Come here. Most of us, we are having multiple funeral covers.
Yes.
The reason why we're having a lot of this is part of insurance investment. Once one person passes on, we don't cover those people with that money that we took from the insurance. From insurance. What do? We keep that money. It's not money. What's the money who has?
No, it's not your money. That's my dad.
That's what I'm saying. Most of us, we are doing that under that condition.
Okay, well, so you actually invest in your relatives dying. But the problem, they'll bury you with your funeral policy. You're not going to bury them. Those things, they happen. Because look here, you are using almost 1,000 on funerals. 1 year you're paying 12,000. If no one dies in your family for 5 years, that's 60,000 you gave to people. Come, let's sit down. Let's talk of the basic. Mortuary people card, health people card, video people card. Cover family, each person at 50,000. If anything happens during the time, I have attended funerals of people who had covered their relatives with 100,000. That money is never enough. I've been to funerals of people who had covered 5,000. That money is never. Madi apito will never be enough. That's a rule. Because once the money is there, you want to put funny things on the coffin, already flowers, those funny things. So when we talk of funerals, let's sit down and evaluate these policies. Break down some of the policies, amend the policy. I amended policy and remember takes up to 26 people of your relatives. Then Bad Asalam put them in Botswana and put them in Holland. Now check the covers. And you're going to find why I'm covering from 30,000. When he dies, I'll get 30,000. They are going to bury with that policy. And you never eat that money. And they will never be talking to each other because of that money.
Which means they can kill people to get money.
Yes, there is a case in Germany of a certain police officer who was arrested last year. I don't know if you know. Who killed a number of his relatives. 10 years recovery and now So you don't invest in people dying. You create a savings. We help you create a savings. You save money. A year later, 2 years later, you start to give part of your money. Yes, sir. My last question is which is the best to invest and savings? Which is the best? Okay, mostly I sell both of them. Let me tell you a good story about investment and savings. Because most of you cite policies that you do not understand. And when I bring you the policy document, I can count 1 out of 100 clients who have never read the policy document. There is no one who reads the terms and conditions of the phone. You just buy the phone, you have a sharp sharp. The day you have a problem, the people of insurance and the people of companies, they will tell you, but you sign. And I hate to tell people most of the times, that I think I had a case last week of a certain guy with the Botswana life issue. Then they had an issue, the guy liked it to him, whatever. Then he said, I can't sign me. That's the highest level. Then now we advise, no, when something like this happens, this is a criminal offense. But problem Botswana about is, I can cancel what I canceling. Compensate get your money back. So now, an investment, it's a periodic investment that matures in a certain time. A savings quickly matures because savings, an investment, you are putting bait. Those who want to go for fishing, they will tell you, you put bait. Then the next thing you put away when you start to catch. A savings matures quickly. Like, for example, the metropolitan savings, they mature quickly. Within 6 months, your money starts maturing. An investment, it needs close to 18 months of a calendar. Examples of investments, your pensions.
I'm sorry to chip in. In actual fact, say the investment, when I'm talking about this investment, I'm not talking in forms. I'm talking in asset forms.
Okay.
Like I'm buying a plot, I build houses, I rent people.
Okay.
I'm sure of the direct interest of my property as compared to savings, whereby you are going to invest, and if you are going to invest with my money, and you invest in, I get a profit of maybe 60%. You come to me, you tell me that it's 20%. I think I can't see. You come with 20%, you tell me this is what you're interested in come to. Then I say, okay, I can see. You say, hey, can I be investing for you? I'm getting another 5%, then we're not, you give me 10%. That's why money savings and investment. I would prefer investment on properties or assets other than on monetary terms. Because monetary terms is cheaper and there.
Okay, the problem that have come, I don't know how many of you do have savings and metropolitan. That if, whatever, if it's a pension or a savings, whatever that you have for it, savings and metropolitan. This is what happens. There is a thing called equity. Equity is probably the value of money that you acquire over a period of time. Now, when you buy, let's say, you decide to say, okay, if I'm trying to do a savings for 7 years, I might be able to get money to build a house. Then you say, why don't I take a loan today and build the house and rent it out? That's what you're saying, right? So now you have an asset that you're looking at with the value of the money that you borrow. Now, the thing that happens is, money is not supposed to be tied down. When you build a house for residents, it's not an investment. I call it a retirement package. Every person needs to have a home at some point, right? So we don't take money to build liabilities. A liability is the car. When you buy a car at Toyota today, you buy it for 100,000. When you want to take it back tomorrow, they'll tell you it's value is 60,000 because it's a liability. They don't know what to think of it, and it loses value as time goes by. Land, assets, they grow in terms of capital. I bought a plot for 50,000 few years ago. This year, somebody approached me offering me 200,000 on the same piece of land that I bought for the same value. Why? Because land appreciates value. But now, if I take 50,000 and put it on the ground and it stays there, it does not help me. Why don't you? It doesn't.
Appreciate value.
Yes.
Building appreciate value.
No.
But land never depreciate. I buy land 60,000 now. In 2 years, I can sell that land maybe 500,000.
Yes. Buildings, they don't have
appreciate. That's why these guys who were here with those riches and everything, they are no longer here. They are in their country. And they are selling this land. They bought it at peanuts. Now they are
because
they are
buildings, anything that needs maintenance is a liability. A building depreciates value.
You understood him to say, well, land is a liability, but he's talking about the building and
So, yes. I have a case study that happened in a place called in Central South Africa. Before they developed it to a suburb, there was an old man who bought that land. He was demarcated by his former boss, who was a farmer there. So he had his funny shape in it. So he built that shape with less than 4,000 rands by then the value of that. But when Central was being developed, they asked him to buy his land for 2 million. We don't buy the building on the land, we buy the land. The land is what creates value. Your house that you're living in today, we can demolish it today and put flats that can generate more money for us. So when we invest in land or when we invest in building, we have tied down an amount that will grow. So investment is in monetary form. Assetting is in building form, which assets needs maintenance over time and time, renovation, repainting, replastering. That's a liability. It takes money from you before it gives you money. So you take 50,000 to FNB, for example, they promise you 1%. For example, every month your money is growing by 1 billion. After at the end of the year, you have gained 12 cooler, but your building needs a repainting. The land has value, but what's sitting on the top of the land? That's why if you marry a woman today and you abuse and shatter, you divorce her, the reason you go back to your baby mama is you find another man who makes a bloom. So those are liabilities that just need a revamp. So it's very important now because for you to, it's not everyone who can afford to buy an asset. So you build an empire for yourself. Allowed to say, I cannot afford to save more, but I want to save at least a combo every month, 330 people again. You save that 330 every month, you put it aside. By the end of the year, you've saved almost 5,000 for yourself. You multiply it by 5 years, that's a lot of money. If you have a financial glitch, you don't need to go to your bosses asking for an advance. I had a situation in my life some months ago. I went to the education office, they sent me to the director's office, they gave me a list of teachers.